Hello everybody, so it's Lauren again. Today I'm going to be doing a video showcasing these four little beauties right here. This is the Younique's combination for the Flawless 4. This is going to be the products that you put together on your face, and it's going to give you the flawless coverage that every single woman is dying to have. So basically I'll go through these four products real quickly. This first one, this is primer. Primer is an absolute must. To be honest, 2-ish years ago, I didn't even know what primer was. Primer is something that's going to go on your face after your skincare routine, after you've moisturized, and before any of your foundation. This little tube of goodness right here, you're going to use like a pea-sized amount, a little more, a little less, depending on how much you really need. It's clear, you're going to rub it all over your face, and it's really going to prep your skin for your foundation. Lots of people want to know, why is primer a must? I've never used primer before. What's the point? Well, to that I say, well, does your foundation last all day? Most of the time people say no. They have to reapply at lunch, or they've got to put powder over it to keep it on, all sorts of things like that. Primer is going to what helps prevent those issues. You're going to put it all over your face, and it's going to create a nice smooth porcelain canvas for your foundation. And it actually causes you to use less of your makeup, which makes it go further, which is pretty nice. So it's a good bang for your buck. Basically, with this stuff, it's going to cover all those teeny tiny little fine lines, wrinkles, creases. It's going to seal over your pores on your nose, all sorts of stuff that's going to make way for this bottle of goodness. I cannot say enough about Younique's Touch Liquid Foundation. I absolutely love it. It's fabulous. When you use it in conjunction with primer, you can use this little beauty called the Liquid Foundation Brush. You can see it's got kind of like the bristles are angled here, and it's got a little cutout area in the middle of it. When you use it in conjunction with the primer and the Liquid Foundation Brush, this is going to get 4 to 5 drops per application for your face, which is going to get you about 80 to 100 uses out of it. And it's also buildable. So if you put on that first layer and you don't think it's enough coverage, you can always go back and put on another one. It's pretty sweet. So what I like to do, getting my liquid foundation brush, is I like to mix my concealer and my liquid foundation together. So I'll get a little bitty drop of my concealer, put it in the middle in that hollowed out area, and then I'll take my liquid foundation and just dot either 4 or 5 drops right on that outside. And then I'll go and I'll dab over the major areas and then blend it all together. It's pretty nice. So now you're probably wondering, okay, well, where the heck does concealer come into play with this? Most people put concealer on and then their foundation. That's actually wrong. What you want to do with your concealer is put it on after. I know, it's breaking practice. People have been doing it that way for years, doing it first and then the foundation. Well, let me tell you what's wrong with that. First of all, if you're putting your concealer on under your foundation, you're going to get everything concealed that you want to. Put your foundation over it, and then what's the problem? You need more concealer. Well, why is that? It's because when you're putting your foundation on, you're wiping away a little bit of that concealer that you put on the first time. So then you have to use more concealer to cover up the areas that aren't as covered as they were previously, and then you end up using more concealer, which means you run out of it quicker. That's a problem. When you use this little tube of goodness, this is our Mineral Touch Skin Perfecting Concealer. You always want to put that on after your foundation. And the best way to apply it is get your foundation all nice and pretty. You're going to use the same shade as your foundation to cover up little acne scars. So like for me, you can see on my skin, I've got scars everywhere. I've got some freckles here and there. That's what the same shade of your foundation as concealer is going to do to cover those areas. Now, if you're wanting to highlight under your eyes or to cover dark circles, like here you can see me, I've got like some darkness here, and I've also got a little bit of eczema down here. A lot of it, that's just my skin, and some of it too, also I've got bad allergies right now, so they're darker. You want to use a shade that's 1 to 2 shades lighter than your foundation, and that's going to highlight and cover a whole lot better. So, we'll go ahead and get started. And like I said, we're going to start with our primer. I've already cleaned my face. It's moisturized, ready to go for my primer. So back to my skin here. I'm going to show you just one more time so you can get a good idea of the coverage that this is going to provide. You can see here that I've got my scars and my freckles. I've got dark circles under here. I know, very sad. I've got scars all the way across here from those good old teenage years, and nursing school kind of did me in my skin department. And then just recently I've developed eczema. Never had eczema in my life, but now I got it. I've got little patches here under my eyes, and then this is where it likes to concentrate. A big old bright red scaly patch. Joy. But my Flawless 4 here is going to take care of that for me, so I'm excited. So, back to primer. You're going to use a little pea-sized amount, about like this. You can see it's nice and clear, so it's not going to provide any color at all. I like to dab it between 2 fingers, get them all nice and warm, and then I just kind of dot it around the major areas that I'm going to need it. And then I'm going to rub it in. You really want to make sure that it's all nice and rubbed in so that your foundation's going to cover well for your face. And another thing about the primer, not only does it get your face readier for your foundation, it's also going to help keep your foundation on all day. I've worn this stuff in Washington, D.C. in July. I actually went last year on a family vacation. Wore my liquid foundation. I was sweating. It was hot. It was in the 90s. Lots of humidity. Near some water, so that was going to make it a little bit worse. And my foundation stayed flawless all day. It was pretty awesome. So, next thing. Gonna get my liquid foundation brush and my liquid foundation. Now, the key to liquid foundation is you have to shake it up very well. The thing with this is, and like all foundations really, the pigment sometimes settles apart from the oils that are in the foundation. And this is on a dropper, like this. So you want to make sure that you squeeze the dropper, shake it really, really well. That way your foundation is nice and mixed, and the foundation that might have separated that was in the dropper comes out as well, and it's nice and mixed. So, I'm going to grab my concealer, because like I said, I like to mix my foundation and concealer. In that highlight area, I'm going to put a little dot, like that. And in my dropper, I'm going to squirt out. For me, you can use 4 to 5 drops, and like I said, it's buildable, so if you need more, you can do more. But for me, with the concealer, I just do the 4 drops. So, I'm going to take a good bit of it and put on the major areas of my face. And now, where those drops are, I'm just going to kind of spread them out a little bit. What I really love about this stuff is that anybody can use it. Now, I'm going a little bit slower than I usually would apply it, because obviously I'm doing some teaching with my video here. But literally, this takes me 5 minutes or less in the mornings. Okay, so now I've got a good bit of it that's just kind of spread around my face. So now we're going to start blending. And it's always good to blend kind of in circles. I'll get really well under my eye there. You notice something crazy here? Where'd the eczema go? Remember that nice, beautiful, bright red patch? It's already gone. That is the power of this makeup, y'all. I know a lot of people are skeptical, especially because Younique is a direct sales company, so things are done online. But I'm telling you, ask anybody that's ever tried it. They're going to tell you that they love it. What's wonderful about Younique and all of our products is that you can try this risk-free. We have a 14-day love it or leave it policy. So if you get it and you decide, no, that really wasn't worth my investment, you could have not opened it, you could have opened it and not used it, or you could have used it a little bit and decided that you didn't like it. You can return it within 14 days after receiving it and get a full refund, or you can get an exchange. And the wonderful thing about Younique's return policy is that you can use it and return it up to 90 days after your purchase, and you can still get a partial refund and or exchange. So there's really no risk. That's one thing that I love about this company, is that they want to make sure that their presenters and their customers are well taken care of. So I'm just going to do some little final blendings, blend down onto my neck. Cover any little trouble areas I see that might need a little bit more blending that I might have missed. Okay, and there you have it. So, like I said, this is me mixing my foundation and my concealer. It's pretty nice coverage, right? Now, this eczema that was right here, yes, I can still see it a little bit. That's because it is bright red and angry. So, what is coming to my rescue? It's my Skin Perfecting Concealer. The liquid foundation shade that I used was Organza, and I used Organza as my concealer to go all over my face. But the one that I'm going to use under my eyes is called Scarlet. This is a couple of shades lighter, and this is what's going to be perfect for highlighting under your eyes and covering dark circles. And I found for my eczema, it works really well also. So I'm going to put a little bit in a V. A lot of people like to do this with their concealer, put it under in a circle pattern. That's not really good. You want to drag that down like a V, okay? And right here, I've got a nice little scar that doesn't like to cover up and some very dark freckles there. So I'm going to take my other concealer in Organza, the same shade as my foundation. I'm going to kind of let that sit on those spots for a minute and warm up. If you let your concealer sit on your face for a little bit before you blend it in, it's going to warm it to the point where it likes to blend easier. So I'll just let that sit for a minute. Now, this brush right here is my favorite little brush. This is Younique's concealer brush. You can see it's kind of like a paintbrush. It's got long, thin bristles. This is what's going to spread my concealer evenly. And when you have your concealer, you want to make sure when you're using this brush that you just kind of pat it to blend it. And I like to blend out just so my concealer doesn't look like it's concentrated in one area. Alright, boom. Redness, gone. Love it. So before I do under my eyes, I'm going to go over those couple little spots that I had right here. So far so good, right? I know you're impressed. You just need to say it. Alright, let's do under the eyes now, okay? So like I said, you're going to put that concealer, on like a V, and you're going to blend it down. This is going to help highlight, and it's going to cover those dark circles better, okay? I mean, look at the difference in that already. You see I'm nice and bright, I look awake, and all those dark circles gone. Alright, let's do the other. And like I said, you may need to, depending on how much you use this concealer, you really don't have to use a whole lot. But depending on how much you use, if you use a little bit too much, you always need to make sure that you blend it up and out well. Alright, what do you see? I see perfection. I see no redness here for my eczema. I see no redness under my eyes. I see no dark circles. I don't see my acne scars. I don't see freckles, I don't see anything. So imagine if you've got eczema everywhere, not just a little concentrated spot like I've got. Imagine if your face is covered in freckles and you don't like them. Think about people with melasma or birthmarks, any sort of skin discoloration. We match that foundation perfectly for you, and you're going to get a flawless face like this. Okay? Alright, well, I'm going to hop off here now, so y'all be sure and comment and message me if you have any questions, and we'll get you color matched so that you can have your flawless face. Thanks, guys. Bye.